Welcome to the Roadrunner Provo Intrasquad track meet. This is an 800 meter that we're going to see today from Angie and Susan and other Roadrunners and Provo athletes. Angie in this race went 2:14 as a sixth grader, 2:14 low, and Susan just behind at 2:25. Excellent performances by both of them on a rainy and cold day. So we're going to see some great performances today. We have in the mile, we have Ian, Charlie, Cope, and others. Just want to give a little bit about Roadrunner, the track club that we have. We also do cross country in the fall. We practice Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 3 to 4:30 p.m. with our middle school, and from 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. for our elementary group. We have world-class coaches who take an interest in developing these athletes and give them everything that they need to be successful, but also stay injury-free and have a great time. We've got a great team culture here as well. These athletes love to work hard, and they know they're getting stronger. They limit the amount of miles they do that are appropriate for elementary and middle school with coaching from great coaches. We're going to start off here with the 1600 meter. This is our 6 flat and faster heat, and they're off. They're going to run just before the rain really started, but a little bit of wind here on the backstretch, and we have them just flying this first lap. They're trying to get under 5. Ian is pacing Charlie and Cope and Weston and Joshua there in the front pack. And they are going through their first lap in a 73 mid. And there's Clara coming through in a 77 with Brooklyn leading the charge on that next pack at about a 5:20 mile pace. So they are really charging out there to the lead and really working hard that first lap. Okay, here we come around for the second lap, and Ian did a great job drafting for those guys. These 4 guys have been working hard. They're running about 7 miles every practice, getting up right around 30 miles for the week with the Saturday long run, and putting in a lot of work there for middle school. They are through in a 2:32, which is just above 5-minute mile pace. They've slowed down a little bit on that second lap. Claire coming through at 2:42. And here comes Brooklyn at a 2:49, 2:50. So still about a 5:40 pace for Brooklyn and that group. Claire with a 5:24 mile pace currently. So they are really going fast today and getting after it, even when they don't have a lot of competition from other teams. This is an inter-squad track meet. You can see them just hungry to get those personal bests and really putting themselves out there to go for it. So we're going to see here the third lap coming around. You can see those guys. Weston's fallen off just a little bit from that front group, but you can see Ian leading Charlie and Cope. All 3 of them are 8th graders, and Weston is a 7th grader. So Weston has been doing really well this track season and hanging with those guys. Here they come through in a 3:51. So they're going to have to close really fast to go sub 5-minute mile pace. Now Joshua here, he had a huge PR at the Roadrunner track meet, and he has continued to do so well. Now here comes Clara, our first girl in the field, with a 4:10 through 3 laps. She is really flying today. And here we go, another pack coming through. This is going to be about a 4:21, 4:23, 4:24. So there's Brady just hanging on. They are sub 6-minute mile pace there. They are going to close really fast on this last lap. Now here we are going to see Charlie and Ian and Cope come right onto the screen in just a minute. They've got about let's see, 10 seconds left for that sub 5 barrier. Ian has gone 4:58. That is his current personal best. And he did that at the Roadrunner track meet to take the victory and take home the trophy for that event. Now, he was really pacing these other guys, but about a 5:05 for Ian. And here comes Charlie in about a 5:09 and Cope in a 5:11. So great performances from those guys. Great pacing by Ian to just really lead them to those fast times. And Weston coming through 5:20. And Joshua, another big race, 5:24 for Joshua. He's really feeling it. You can see he gave everything he had out there. Now here comes Clara, first female runner, coming through at a 5:35. So great performance from Clara. All right, and here we go. We have one of our Provo road runners right there at the line. Fantastic performance. That was a PR for him as well. We had Sam, Brooklyn, Ruby, and others just with a strong pack running experience there, really helping each other out on that draft. One of the things I love about drafting is, everybody in that pack just gets faster because you trade off the lead. It's less wind resistance when you hug right on their shoulder. And so everybody in that pack ends up running just a little bit faster. Now here comes Diesel coming through at the finish right there with the lean. And here comes Marvin. He is one of our younger runners for that field, but look at him just flying. He is really, for his age, he is doing so well. And his dad is just a fantastic coach. He's coached and they have a great running family as well. Gabriella, his older sister, currently competing at Provo High School. Now, here we go. Our last runner through. This is one of our Provo athletes. All right, our next heat. This is up some of our younger runners here, but also some that have been running for quite a while, are still in elementary and are just in this second heat. And they're off. In this heat, we have Eli Chipman, Ian Dallas, L. Clark, Christian Oldham, Annalise Hamlin, Joseph Reed, Marshall Dutson. So all of these are some of our top road runners for this younger age in the second heat. We also have Marcy Clark and Tyler Webster, who's relatively new. Isaac Argyle, who's been around for a little while and done some great consistent training recently. Also Helen King, you're going to see her come through. She is the younger sister of Charlie and Clara, who we saw in that first heat. So a family with just oozing with talent. And we also have Candace, who just recently set an 8:11 for her 1600 meter at the Roadrunner Invitational just a week ago. And that was a huge breakthrough for her. We'll see how close she can get to 8 flat today. That's going to be a big milestone for her. She is currently on pace for that. And then we also have a couple others. Lily, you just saw, and then Lydia, one of our newest runners, 2017, so very young. And this mile can feel so intimidating for those younger runners like that, but definitely not intimidated. She's doing so well. There goes Lydia right there. All right, so here comes our top group coming through. We have up top, we have Eli on the outside on the left, and we have Ian. Ian is on the right, and then Elle is getting that great draft there in lane 2. Now, one of the things you see with some of the younger runners, you see them kind of weave a little bit. They're still trying to figure out the stride, kind of the how to run straight, use less energy. But you see, with these athletes, especially, as they get, more experience, they're going to run a little bit straighter, a little bit less weaving. But at this age, it's perfectly normal and natural. And honestly, just a lot of fun to watch them. Just gutsy, getting out there. And they're coming through right now in their 800. Just multiply that by 2 for their pace. So just over 7-minute mile pace, about a 7:30 pace for that last pack that we saw coming through. Now Candace, we're going to see how close she can get to that 8 flat. And she is coming through right now at exactly 4 minutes, just slightly under. So she is on that 8-minute mile pace. And if she can do that, that would be a huge breakthrough for her. All right, so here we go. We have Isaac Collard coming through. He is with the Provo team, one of these younger runners as well. And then Lily coming up right behind him. All right, and then finally, we have Lydia right behind Lily as well. Now here comes this chase pack right here. They're coming up to the start of their 4th lap. They're doing a little bit of weaving there and doing a great job just kind of navigating that. And there they go. They're about a 4:42. So they are on track to try to get low right there, close to 6-minute mile, depending on how fast they can close that last lap. It'd have to be a monster last lap for them to get that 6 flat. But they are going to be well under the 6:30 that's required for the boys varsity and the 7:30 that's required to be under for girls varsity as well. Now they'll have no problem with that in the front pack, but some of this group right here, they're going to be close. All right, and here we go. We have Tyler and Marcy just coming through at the start of their last lap. And here we have Helen and Isaac as well, just making that final surge. It's really starting to rain now, a little bit more of a sprinkle. You can see the wet track, especially for those that don't have spikes. It makes it just a little bit more slippery when they're running, when they're planting. And so it just a little bit harder to run. Shoes get wet, they get a little bit heavier. There's also a little bit of a headwind. Here comes Eli to the finish, and a fantastic finish for Eli. And there goes Ian and Elle as well. Great performances from all those athletes. So Eli about a 6:08, Ian 6:12, Elle 6:13. Now here comes our 4th place finisher. This is Christian in the black pullover. And he's going to come through at a 6:34. So great performance from Christian. One of the very first times he's worn spikes at one of these races. And he really ripped it hard. He came back from a football injury this last fall, was not able to compete with the team this last fall because of a broken femur. But you can see him back in action now. And here comes Annalise with a strong finish just under 7 minutes, and Joseph at 7:01, and Marshall with a personal best 7:03. Marshall is younger brother to one of the Mountain View runners, Maverick Dutson, one of the star runners and up-and-coming sophomores with Mountain View. Now here they go. We had a couple of others finish as well. We had Kai and Marcy. Here comes Tyler and Isaac. Isaac finishing strong at the end, just barely beating out Helen King. Another one of our female runners. Helen is 3rd place for the females for this race. And here we go. Luke is coming through. Great performance from Luke. And here comes Candace. Let's see if she is going to make it sub 8-minute mile today. It is going to be close. She's kicking it in, dodging the spectator right there at the end, and it's close. It is an 8:02. She just shaved another 9 seconds off her personal best. So huge congratulations to Candace there for the great finish. All right, 2 more of our runners coming in, and unfortunately I did not capture video of Lily finishing, but we are going to go to the 100-meter. Lily did fantastic as well. I'll just highlight that she got a 9:26 for Lily, and then Lydia a 12:08. So great performances from all of them. All right, so here we go. The 100-meter. This is our first heat. You can see the lanes. They are set up to try to avoid the weaving, but there is weaving. It's like bumper bowling, and they go back and forth and do the strike right at the end. You can see some great performances from those our littlest athletes. They just love the 100-meter. It's such a great sprint. They're looking at their friends left and right and just trying to beat them out. We're just using 5 of these lanes right here, just so we keep them in their lane, a little bit more manageable. Start these heats pretty fast. Now, here he comes. This is, he started with the blocks in lane 3. Andrew Pace with the victory. What a fantastic performance and by Andrew Pace. There we have our officiator, Jeanette Alder, with the red flag. She is a former Olympian in the 3,000 meter. Back when they, this was for the women, this was in Barcelona. She competed there and did really well as an Olympian. Okay, there's Amory coming across the line with Emily. Amory is one of our specialists in the sprint category, and she is quite fast. She's one of our 8th graders, so just going to be going up into high school this next year. All right, our next heat here. And we have Justin King as our starter. He is uses the clapper. We don't use a starting gun. We use a clapper and have the rslts.run website that gives the results. There you can see Benjamin Siegmiller almost with the victory right there in lane 5. Benjamin's one of our distance runner who's also been working in the sprints. You can see a shoe was lost there in the first 20 meters, but he finished anyway. I love seeing that. Just the dedication to finish a race, even if you have something like a lost shoe. Now here we go in the next heat. All right, let me pull up some of the results here and mention just a little bit about some of these athletes that are coming across. Let's see, I'll try to keep ahead of this. That was Liam, Benjamin, Keller, and Paxton in that last heat. Okay, and Will Osler, Pierre, Sam, Jonah, and Michael. Okay, and then I think up next, this is Charlotte and Ashlyn, Boston, Kaya, and Elizabeth. Okay, that was a great heat there. Great finish. We go to the next one.
Last call for all 100-meter racers. Last call for all.
Okay, up next we have a number of one roadrunner in lane 2. This is going to be Will Thomas. His sister Penny Thomas just ran in the Alpine Days this last week and finished with a 7:31. Huge personal best for her. Here comes Will Thomas on the outside, but just barely got beaten by, let's see, who is that? Caleb Carter. So Caleb Carter with the victory for that one. Just a really fast 14.28 on the time there for Caleb and a 14.49 for Will Thomas. All right, up next we have Cyrus out to an early lead. Cyrus Allen, he is really cruising. He is a 15.0 1-9. Great job for Cyrus. We had Ellie with the hands raised. She is also the younger sister of Maverick Dudson, who's at star sophomore at Mountain View High School, coached by Coach Mike Strauss there at Mountain View. So they're on their way to probably Mountain View High School, and they'll go to Lakeside Middle School or the school there is preparation 6th through 9th grade, or 7th through 9th grade. Okay, so there's our next heat, and that was won by Henry Todd with a 14.84. And then we have Taryn with a 15.19. He goes back, he's going so fast, his hat flew off. We've had a shoe that's been lost already and a hat. What will people lose next? They are absolutely flying in these heats for these sprints. All right, we're up for the next heat. And there they go. They're off. Kalyani is off to an early lead, followed by Sage and Haley and Lenora, and then Thomas as well, and Elizabeth. See, I may have gotten that heat wrong. I'll have to go back and check that one. That might have been Elsie, Jane, Margaret, Beverly, Samantha, and Sky. All right, our next heat is here. This is Elsie, Jane, Margaret, Beverly, Samantha, and Sky. So great performances from them. All right, up next we have the boys. These are 2015, 2016 boys. And they're off. All right, off to an early lead is Henry. We have Peter close behind him, almost with the lean there, 17.05, 17.59. Henry takes the victory. Marcy in third place. Cooper in fourth. Wiley in fifth. And Ezra rounding it out right there at the end. All right, our next heat, we have 4 athletes in this one. We have Jaron out to a solid lead there in lane 4. Let's see, it's going to be a 16.43. Zachary in a 17. And then Art and James both in 20. So great performances from those young men. Here we have some more 2016 boys. All right, and they are off. It looks like Kai is out to an early lead. Looking over his shoulder at Dean, trying to keep ahead of Dean. And he does at the finish, 17.8. Dean's 18.7, followed there by Chase Carlisle with a 23.8. Okay, here comes our next heat. We have Jane out to an early lead. It's going to be close though. Alexander is coming right behind her, and Lucy and Connie right at the finish line. Our next heat, we have 2016 girls, but we also have a 2014 Cash Fletcher in there as our 2014 boy against Mary Story is going to be the first girl across with a 17.7, followed by Jaya and Violet. Okay, so that concludes our 100 meter. Now we're going to go to our 50 meter. And our first heat. Oh, that was close. We had an extra runner in there, 2 in lane 6. That was fantastic. Great performance. All right, so we had Harrison, Samantha, Will, Packer, and Miles in that last heat. Here comes our final heat. In this one, we have Jaren on the outside. Jaren with a blistering 8.82, followed by Jane, our first female, 2017, so very young, 9.5. Followed by Kai and then Jacob. All right, here they are, 400 meter. A lot of these athletes already did the 1600 meter, and they're off. This is going to be just a fast close. We have Charlie, who's run pretty close to 60 in one of our 4x4 relays. And Ian is off to a strong lead here. They are going to be about just over 60 in a 64.5. Charlie with a 64.8. Cope with a 67. There we go. Ruby, our first female runner, 111. Diesel had a fantastic race there. 72, 112. Eli with a 112 as well. Logan with a 116. We had Sam with a 119, Taryn with a 121, Keller, Marta, Jonah, all of them great races in this first heat. And then Curtis at the very end with a great 140 personal best for Curtis. Okay, now we're on to heat 2. Now this heat is loaded. We have 19 runners in this heat. You can't see them all along the waterfall. We're going to waterfall start this just to keep the meet moving along. And it might be a little bit of chaos right there at the end. But fortunately we have this video backup for any missed punched bib numbers right at the end. So Calvin out to a strong lead. Can he hold it on from a surging Lucy? Almost 0.1 seconds back for Lucy. Calvin, Lucy, Nolan almost right, and Claire all there at 116. We had Anna at 117, Elle at 119, Jasper 121, Charlotte 122, Caleb 123, Abraham 130. Will at 131. We had Ben, Ashlyn, Luke, and Tyler just finished. We have Boston, Isaac, Nicholas, and followed by Thatcher right at the end, just under 2 minutes. That is sub 8 minute mile pace right there for Thatcher. Let's go on to Heat 3 now. And in Heat 3, we have 17 runners, including one of my favorites there in 7:24. That is little Ruth. She is the younger sister of Peter, who just absolutely destroyed the 100 meter just a little bit ago. So these littlest kids that just, 2020. She was born in 2020. Okay, right here at the front is Martzi leading the charge in a 1:28, followed by Peter. Peter with a 1:32 coming back after that 100 meter. We had Jane and Carl there in third and fourth. And here comes Jonathan right at the end. Strong performance from Jonathan, 1:43. Tyler, Jacob, Stockton, Packer. What a great cluster of runners there. Art, Elsie, Hannah, Connie, all coming in. And then we have Margaret and Beverly. Beverly coming up, and followed by Ruth, one of my favorites there, one of our 2020 runners. Also, I'll just mention that Hannah, she ran a 1:54. She is 2019. So she is sub 8-minute mile pace right there by a lot. I mean, that is like an 7:40 pace for Hannah King for that one lap. And here comes Ruth with a 2:28 and still running even at the end.
Report to the Roadrunners tents. Sia is waving her arm and she's ready for you.
All right, up next, we are going to race the 800 meter. Now, this includes Angie Alder and Susan Hedengren, who are 1 and 4 at Nike Indoor Nationals in the mile. They are really going to be racing this one hard today and pushing each other. We have 10 runners total in this heat. Angie, Susan, we have David, Spencer, Eli, Penny, Elle, Sophie, Boston, and Stockton. Now let's see what Angie can do in this first lap. This first lap would have been pretty close to winning the 400 meters. She went through in a 1:04, a 64 second, and Susan in a 71. Absolutely flying on that first lap, really getting after it hard. 65 seconds on that first lap. That is really an aggressive first lap for Angie, but she is coming into it with a 2:15 personal best set at the Roadrunner time trial for the 800 meter. So we'll see what she can do for this 800 meter. If she can do it without pacers, without somebody there running with her, she is running by herself in the pouring rain and just absolutely going super fast on that first lap. So really got after it quick. One of the things you notice about Angie is she has just an incredible kick at the end of races. She is, if you're next to her, she will make you hurt. She'll take you into the hurt locker and just drive to the finish line. And she's doing that again here in the 800 meter. She is going to be close. It is a 2:14.0, so 2:14 low. And Susan with the final charge. And here she comes. This is a 2:25 for Susan Hedengren. So our two female athletes leading the charge on that 800 meter. Angie in 6th grade and Susan in 7th grade. Now here comes David. David with a strong finish. I believe David also ran the mile as well. There goes Spencer and Eli. And here comes Penny. Penny with a strong finish in the 800. And here comes Elle as well. So you can tell the varsity uniforms, their design is a little bit different. They have that lightning bolt across the front. And all of these athletes have that varsity uniform. Here comes Sophie. She's just coming back from some bad shin splints, getting into some great shape now and making great progress again. And then we have 2 more athletes coming for this 800 meter. We'll have Boston coming up right here, and then Stockton right behind Boston. They are working hard. We don't know who's going to win on this last little stretch. Stockton making a final surge. Look at him just turn on the jets. And I think it is going to be close. But I think Boston is looking around. And look, he's weaving. He is weaving. We're going to see. Oh, wait, no, that in front is Boston. Stockton got clipped right there at the end. But we'll let it stand. No DQs here. Even though there's a little bit of weaving there on the 800 meter finish. We're going to go with the 200 meter now. I'm not going to put a clock on this one because the camera couldn't see the starter. But they are going to stay in their lane here as they run around. Well, most of them will stay in their lane. That's fine. We love it when these athletes just go out there and compete. They are working so hard. here we have it, our first heat. Our first finisher for that is Cyrus with a 32.85 with that characteristic red headband. Marcy in second place with a 39. Jonah right behind him with a 39.6. Stockton, Peter, Jacob, and Margaret rounding out the very end in a 49 second. So let's go to Heat 2 now. Here we have 5 athletes. And out front, that is Henry. Henry with a strong finish and a 31, followed by Benjamin with a 33.9. Emily right behind. It was so close with Emily, 34.2. Boston, and then Isaac. All right, here we go for Heat 3. This is our final heat and the final race of this Provo Roadrunner Intrasquad track meet. Grateful that you guys are watching today. I hope you guys have enjoyed the races. We have Charlotte off to the lead there, followed by Ashlyn, and then Marta and Thomas. Thomas with a great finish there at the end. All of these are Provo athletes and doing so well. Well, thanks for joining, everybody.